Welcome to the Cash Pay Podcast, the go-to podcast for med spas, IV therapy clinics, and wellness practices ready to grow, scale, and lead in the cash pay medical space. I'm your host, Hilary Small, founder of the Medspa Society. I've branded, developed, and launched practices across the U.S., and I'm still in the trenches every day working alongside practice owners just like you. The show is honest, authentic, and built on real-world experience. Each week, you'll get expert strategies and unfiltered insights on marketing, operations, cutting-edge treatments, patient experience, and more, so you can run a profitable, efficient, and rewarding business. Let's dive into today's episode. Hi, welcome to the Cash Pay Podcast. I'm your host, Hilary Small, founder of the Medspa Society. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most common questions I get asked, and that is, what practice management system should I use for my aesthetics or wellness practice? We are going to talk about exactly how to evaluate the most important functions and features a practice management system should include, from patient experience to operations, marketing, and retention, so that by the end of this episode, you can feel confident in choosing the system that is going to best support your practice. We run into two scenarios. So the first scenario, which we're really going to be talking about today, is for practices that are looking to choose an out-of-the-box solution, which there are many of and more coming on the market. And then we have practices that we work with that are looking to build more of a custom solution because they know that all of the things that they're trying to do, they're not going to be able to accomplish with an out-of-the-box solution. And they're planning for the growth of their business. They know that they're going to be multi-location and multifaceted. But again, today, we're really going to focus more so on the out-of-the-box solutions and how to choose the best one. I'm not going to mention any names of the platforms on the podcast because I don't want this to be an advertisement for any particular solution. We do have an article on our blog that we wrote quite a while ago, but we have continued to update it, the list of most of the out-of-the-box solutions that are out there. And at this point, we have worked in some capacity with most of them. And first, we're going to go through a list, and I'm going to tell you what you need to consider when you're looking at these platforms. When somebody comes to us and they have no experience with, whether they haven't worked with one in the past or they just really don't have a realm of comparison when we're talking about them at all, we always suggest the top few based on knowing what their goals are for their practice and suggest that they go through demos of those platforms. We give them guidance on the things to listen for and the things to look for. And then once they've gone through the demos, then we'll talk again and get an understanding of, once they have that baseline of, okay, this is what they do, this is what they can handle, okay, here's how they work. Then we'll have a further conversation about what they think the needs of their practice is and what they will be in the future to help them choose the best solution. And we highly recommend that you don't make your decisions strictly on price in the beginning, because typically the lower price solutions are not necessarily going to be what are going to support your practice long term. And to transition from one platform to another can be a tedious process, just because you are taking all of the information in a platform that's organized in one specific way and then transferring it to another. So really, from the beginning, you want to think about where your practice is now and where you intend it to grow to or be in the future. When you're evaluating a practice management system to see if it is the best fit for your practice, you want to think about patient experience. What is your patient experience with that system going to be from the time that they are potentially on your website and using the booking capabilities to book an appointment with your practice? What does that look like? Then you want to consider consent forms. Once they book that appointment, what is their experience with what do you want their experience with the platform to be when it comes to, are they able to fill out digital consent forms prior to coming in? If they don't do that, then they're filling filling them out, obviously, when they come into your practice. What does that look like? Is there a patient portal? Are they able to, after their treatment, log in, track those treatments, track appointments, look at lab results, potentially look at wellness plans? And then from a communication perspective, is there automation that is available within the system for automated appointment reminders via email and text, and the ability for patients to manage their appointments conveniently? So, patient experience, thinking about those essential things when it comes to how your patients are going to interact with the system is extremely important. Secondly, you want to think about marketing and patient retention capabilities. If you're offering a membership program, does it support the type of membership that you want to offer in your practice? What is the flexibility of how that membership management program works, from the structure of the program, how it's charging the members, how it's helping you retain those members? Then you want to think about referral programs, loyalty programs. How are those managed in the system? As your practice grows, referrals are going to be a crucial component to its growth, and being able to manage this through your system, natively through your system, is going to make things very easy. With marketing, what I've noticed in a lot of these platforms is that some of them have more robust marketing features, some of them do not. Some of the platforms have marketing features in there, but it's more of an add-on. It's not seamless. So what does that look like? Are you able to send SMS messages? Does it have email marketing capabilities? When it comes to SMS, something that I want to mention and point out is how you managing your phone numbers. This is something very important to think about, is if you are sending SMS messages for marketing through a number and it's the same number as the one that you're using to send appointment reminders, it could pose a problem if somebody unsubscribes. So you may want to separate those numbers and have a separate marketing number and then a separate number for reminders. One of those, probably the one that is going to be the one that you use for patient reminders, will likely be your same main phone number for the practice. But that's just something to keep in mind, because it has caused problems for practices that we have worked with in the past. And I always want to help those listening, or help those that we work with, learn from the mistakes that we have encountered. Going back to marketing, being able to evaluate, if you are doing external marketing, if you're advertising, is there the ability within the system to connect to things like your Google Ads platform, your Meta Ads platform? These connections are usually not native in these practice management platforms, and there are a few out there that do offer connectivity through things like Zapier to integrate with your marketing channels. That's something to think about. And likely what you're going to have to do is, if you're marketing and you're advertising, you're going to want to integrate with an outside CRM, a customer relationship management system that has more extensive capabilities. And we'll talk about this more later, but something to just keep in mind is, if you love a certain platform, but you're like, oh, wow, it doesn't have those robust marketing capabilities that I know that I'm going to need right out of the box. Typically, they do not. That is not usually what they're focusing on. You are more than likely going to have to add on another platform. And if this is something that you're running into right now, reach out to me, because we can definitely help point you in the right direction to support that. Okay, so moving on. So that's marketing, patient retention capabilities that you should think about. So now we're going to move on to operational considerations. Operational considerations, starting off with platform accessibility. Is the interface cloud-based, meaning can it be accessed from anywhere, whether you're within the practice, at home, on the go, wherever you are? Is it easy for you to access your system? Some of them are not. Some of them are installed on your desktop within the practice only. Yes, they have an interface on iPads typically, but Then if you need to manage it from home, you have to install a special program on your computer, on your desktop computer typically. So being cloud-based, which most of them are now, some of them aren't, but most of them are, it is just very convenient if they are. User and staff management, what is the pricing model? Is it per user or is there a flat rate? Are there multiple permission levels for administrative, provider, and front desk staff? And if a schedule change is made, are the staff that it impacts, are they getting notifications and updates automatically sent to them? The mobile functionality, is there an app? And this applies mainly to the patients, but is there an app where, and this goes back to patient experience too, where they can easily access their profile within the practice? Is there a mobile friendly version for both patients and providers to be able to log in and see what it is that they need to see and how they need to interact with the practice? When it comes to inventory management and your staff being able to track and input inventory, what does that look like? Your point of sale, the POS system, you need to clarify if it is native within the system or if it requires integration with an external provider like Stripe. Understanding those processing fees. If it's a native POS system, you might be able to negotiate those processing fees. Typically with companies like Stripe, you're not able to, but if it is native within the system and part of what is provided by that particular platform, it might be negotiable. Gift card management capabilities, are those integrated into the system? How are you ordering gift cards? Is it from a third-party source? Consent management. When you're first starting out, are there preloaded consents that you can update? Do you have to upload your own consents? How easy is it to do that and then have them applied to your tablets or iPads? And then documentation and EMR. In these out of the box systems, all of them are HIPAA compliant, but some of them have more robust EMRs than others. And this is something that you're going to have to evaluate depending on the services that you're offering now, or if you're planning on offering wellness services, functional services, blood work, and those types of things in the future, or if you're offering them now, the capabilities of the EMR itself will be important when it comes to how medically focused your practice is versus if it's just aesthetics, injectables. Integration and ease of handling before and after photos in patient charts. What does that look like? How easy is it? Are they automatically imported into the patient chart? Is it easy to access them for marketing purposes? And when it comes to the EMR, just going back to that a little bit, is it easy for your providers to capture patient notes? When is there an AI integrated into how easy it is for your providers to access the EMR, enter those notes, and then have them placed where they need to be placed automatically? Automatic lab integrations and direct reporting of blood work results. This is a new feature for some of these systems that I've seen recently. And then also built-in e-prescribe features. So seamlessly being able to send prescriptions directly to pharmacies. Those are some of the main operational considerations to think about when you are evaluating these systems to see if it is a good fit for your practice. So here's the news. The good news and the bad news. Many platforms are continuously updating and improving their technology. I have yet to find one out of the box that checks all of the boxes, that does everything that a more comprehensive practice truly needs. There are great solutions out there, but in a lot of cases, you have to sacrifice one thing for the other because no single system that is, again, one of these, it's already built out, does everything perfectly right out of the box. Well, when you think about your practice management system, you want to think about your entire practice, your business operations. And what will typically happen is you're going to have to create a technology stack. I'm not going to get into great detail on that today, but I will in future episodes. And that means you'll have your practice management system and it will be connected to other things. And that is fine as long as it's done with intention and intention of making things as easy as possible for you as a practice owner and for your staff who is going to be ultimately in charge of and knowing how to run these systems. And you're going to have to be training people on these systems. And there's going to be many different departments and people potentially involved. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Cash Pay Podcast. If you found today's information valuable, please subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It helps us bring you more insightful episodes. For a comprehensive overview of Medspa software platforms, visit the link mentioned in the show notes. And if you need personalized advice on choosing the best system for your practice or building your tech stack, reach out to me directly, Hillary@themedspa-society.com. Again, all links and resources discussed today can be found in the podcast description below. See you in the next episode.